lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Friday edition of Areva Martin in Real Time. Avi Bernard here with you every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Let's get you caught up. Former Trump campaign attorney Rudy Giuliani has been ordered to pay a staggering $148 million to two former Georgia election workers he spread lies about following the 2020 election. The decision today comes at the end of a week-long federal civil trial in Washington, D.C., where an 8-person jury heard from the workers, Wandrea Shea Moss and her mother, Ruby Freeman, about how 2020 election conspiracies spread by Giuliani and former President Donald Trump turned their lives upside down. In August, District Judge Beryl Howell found Giuliani liable for defamation due to his lack of cooperation in the case, and Giuliani conceded as part of the proceedings that his statements about Moss and Freeman were false. The European Union failed to agree on a 50 billion euro package in financial aid, that's the equivalent of about $54 billion, that Ukraine desperately needs to stay afloat, even as the bloc decided yesterday to open accession negotiations with the war-torn country. The aid was vetoed by Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, delivering another tough blow to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, after he failed this week to persuade U.S. lawmakers to approve an additional $61 billion for Ukraine, mainly to buy weapons from the United States. The Republican-controlled House passed a final $886 billion defense policy bill yesterday, even though many conservative provisions had been stripped through negotiations with the Senate. The 310 to 118 vote on the annual policy bill succeeded despite conservative opposition to a short-term extension of federal surveillance powers and the lack of hard-line provisions on abortion, transgender troops, and diversity in the ranks. The bill will now head to President Biden's desk, where he is expected to sign it. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy started this year hearing his name cast as Speaker, a dream he had held throughout his political career. But yesterday, McCarthy wrapped up his 2023 on Capitol Hill with a farewell speech. The California Republican said goodbye to Congress on a House floor that saw a 15-round Speaker election, multiple failed procedural votes, and the first ousted Speaker of the House in Congress's 234-year history. McCarthy secured the gavel in early January, only to lose it 9 months later. Earlier this month, McCarthy announced he would be leaving office at the end of the year to, quote-unquote, serve America in new ways. Yesterday, was the last day the House was in session for the year, and it was also McCarthy's last day as a member on Capitol Hill. After being elected to Congress in 2006, McCarthy's career as a congressman is now over. Cornel West does not think that Joe Biden will make it to the general election. Instead, the independent presidential candidate suggested the sitting president could suddenly end his re-election bid the way President Lyndon B. Johnson did when he shocked the nation in 1968. West said he didn't think the president can sustain the mounting criticism he's been taking from the left on everything from the Israel-Hamas war to the economy. 70-year-old West said he may very well be running against the quote-unquote B team of Democrats, including Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer, even though Gavin Newsom has said as recently as Wednesday that he is not going to run. A Mississippi grand jury has declined to indict a police officer who responded to a call and shot and seriously wounded an unarmed 11-year-old boy inside the home. The grand jury found that Indianola Police Sergeant Greg Capers did not engage in criminal conduct when he shot Adarian Murray in the chest on May 20th while responding to a domestic dispute. Murray was hospitalized for 5 days with a collapsed lung, lacerated liver, and fractured ribs from the gunshot wound in his chest. In a written statement, Carlos Moore, Murray's attorney, said the family would seek accountability through a federal civil lawsuit. The officer's attorney, Michael Carr, said that the officer had suffered personally and financially due to the case, and that the grand jury made the right decision. He also said the officer was looking forward to getting back to work, and that is a cheerful thought. The 11-year-old boy who was shot is the one who called 911 at the request of his mother. And a Texas high school black student has been disciplined and kept away from his classroom for months for refusing to change his hairstyle, and he's not likely to be back with his regular classmates anytime soon. Efforts by Daryl George's attorney to ask a judge to pause his punishment by his Houston area school district over his locks, as well as a civil rights lawsuit he and his family filed in September, remain on hold in federal court. 18-year-old George returned to in-school suspension at his campus, Barbers Hill High School in Mont Belvieu, Texas, last week, and for now he will remain there. Before that, he had spent a month at an off-site disciplinary program just because he wouldn't cut his hair. When we come forward, the Friday group chat continues. We're going to talk about Ja Morant and claiming that he struck a 17-year-old boy out of self-defense. The 17-year-old boy was playing a pickup basketball game with Ja Morant at Ja Morant's house, and he felt that he was in danger from that boy, so he hit him. That's the story he's rolling with. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about Draymond Green just out of nowhere doing a roundhouse punch on Yusuf Nurkic. Just wild stuff. We're going to talk about that as part of the Friday group chat when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here's to a holiday season full of peace, joy, and happiness. Happy Kwanzaa from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertiri Plessy. Nefertiri felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine, but how do you maintain the beard hair you already have? The King C. Gillette Beard Thickener helps to reduce patchiness and strengthens hair's resilience to breakage. Apply the King C. Gillette Beard Thickener daily to see a thicker and fuller beard in just 14 days. It's highly scented with King C. Gillette's signature scent. Just trim, wash, and soften. With King C. Gillette.
Hey, it's Amanda, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is that they're so easy for the holidays. They're warm and flavorful. It's always a crowd pleaser. When I put down a nugget tray, everyone is happy.
Hey, this is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is the joy that it brings to me and everybody around me during the holidays. They're warm, juicy, and delicious.
Cater the holidays with Chick-fil-A today. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
The way we spend our time defines who we are. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where else would you rather be than here on the Friday group chat with me, myself, Avi Bernard, and Danny Griffin, and Dr. Sean Fletcher, talking about all the best topics. And we're going to get into this Ja Morant story. Let's talk about Ja Morant. He was suspended for 25 games for flashing a gun on social media twice within like a 3-month span. And he reportedly, after the first time it happened, was going to go get help, and he came back, and of course my Lakers very graciously removed him and his Grizzly teammates from the playoffs. Just very graciously told them to get out of the way. And in a quick sidebar, we'll get back to that. But speaking of my Lakers, we do have Howard on the online from Indianapolis, home of the Indiana Pacers, the second place in-season tournament team. Howard, welcome.
Hey, how we doing, Mr. Ivy? How we doing, Mr. Ivy Bernard? How we doing, Dr. Fletcher? How we doing?
I'm doing great.
Mr. Danny Griffin.
I'm doing great,
Hey,
especially now
Don't
that you're
try
here
to
on the
butter
line.
us up, Howard. Don't try to butter us up. It's time to pay the piper.
Hey, well, shoot, the piper ain't been paid. The refs got $500,000 too.
Wow. Is that where we're going with this, Howard? See, I was about to give you a compliment. I was about to say, listen, I really appreciate you manning up and calling in, even though your Pacers fell well short of winning that game. I was going to say, at least you called in and took it, but now you're going to go that direction, Howard. Is that really what we're doing?
Hey, we all watched the same game. It was nip and tuck all the way through. And then the refs started acting like Frank Drebin from Police Squad on Naked Gun in the Hand. Naked Gun. Y'all ever seen that?
Is that what
They
we're
was calling
doing?
everything.
Howard,
They-
don't
they
do
was-
this, Howard. You are better than this. You are
Hey,
better than this,
they
Howard.
called a foul on Miles, and he was already fouled out.
Wow. Well, they called him because they called 6 fouls on him because he was hacking, is what he was doing, because he couldn't guard Davis, because Davis had 41 points and 20 rebounds, and Miles supposed to be better than that. I can't believe we almost traded for him. I can't believe it, and I'm glad we didn't. You see that, Howard? This is what happens when you're the superior team, man. Listen, it's all love, though.
What happened? What happened with Dallas?
Wow, what
The
happened?
refs wasn't there.
What happened with the Pacers against the Bucks? What happened
Hey,
with
they
what
had
happened in
to
that
let them
game?
win one. They
What's
had
that?
to let them win one.
Oh, you had to let him win one. Then why didn't y'all give Giannis his ball, man?
No, hey, I took that away. It was his first game, and they wanted his first points in the game. They wanted to give the ball to him. So it is what it is with that situation, in my opinion. But all in all, it didn't count that game. The championship game didn't count. So those stats, that stat line won't go into the record books at all. So, like I said, the rest said the fouls don't count either. So, but no, all in all, it was a good game. And Lakers, they supposed to hang a banner or whatever. In my opinion, it's going to have an asterisk by it. So, but. It's cool. I mean, I love it. I love the in-season tournament. I hope they keep it around for every year. Maybe they'll do it twice a year. Who knows?
Okay, Dr. Fletcher, I just wanted to give you a chance to chime in. Will there be an asterisk on the Lakers in-season tournament championship?
Howard, I am crestfallen at your analysis right now. I did not, all of this enthusiasm and such fervor you had last week. I was expecting you were going to call in with some expert analysis and take it on the chin and say, you know what, the better team won. But I'm hearing that you're feeling like there's some Tim Donaghy type of hijinks going on here, and I didn't expect it from you. So I just want to hear from you, Howard. What is your expert analysis on what took place? Because I happen to agree with you on the whole ball situation. The kid got it first. But go back to the game. Let's not deflect. You did a great job of trying to deflect. Go back to the game. What's your analysis? What happened to Halliburton? What happened to this lightning rod that he was? He just kind of went away. What happened?
I mean, hey, some people, have bad games, and sometimes you're on the stage that shines the most, and sometimes you fall down. So I just appreciate them being there. So I mean, we're one of the 2 teams left standing. So I mean, to make it that far, you know what I'm saying? But you got to get that championship breathe in you, and the Lakers obviously got it, because they are champions. So, but once they get that feeling that they start playing like champions, then that's what's going to fuel them. I'll take another away from Anthony Davis. He's a monster. I mean, on some nights he is, and some nights he's not. Depends on which way it's shaking. So, but I mean, it was a good game, and in my opinion, let them play for the championship. I mean, you swallow the whistles. So
okay,
that's more like it. That's more like it,
Yeah.
Howard. I appreciate that. I was disappointed with the energy you just came in here on, but that's more like it. And of course, it sounds like the Pacers are totally game for participation trophies. They were just happy to be there, by your word. So, Lakers, we prefer banners, even if they're bubble banners, even if they're, in-season tournament banners. We like banners. But no, man, I had to give you a hard time. And I appreciate you coming back here and taking your medicine.
I take all in all. If you're gonna dish it out, you might as well be able to take it.
That's right. And
I respect that.
And I can dig it, Howard, because as Andy just said, it's been a long time for the Pacers. Y'all been down for a long time. I mean, you're kind of a down franchise, but I mean, it's you're back up now a little bit. Danny Griffin, anything to say to Howard before we move on?
Well, first, Howard, I know you're a fan of the Pacers and Indiana University. Rest in peace to George McGinnis, the legendary high school star in Indiana and NBA, ABA, and then Coach Bobby Knight, and you guys are getting hit pretty hard out there, and I consider Indiana, they don't get the publicity like LA, New York, and Chicago and all that, but
rightfully so.
You guys got a serious basketball history down there, man. So props to you, man. But the Pacers, you're about 20 years off though. Yeah, but I do see hope, and I am excited to see, you have another contender in the East maybe in about 3 to 4 years if you keep honing that talent. So keep your head up.
Yeah, no.
In my Tupac voice.
And I got to give you props, though, Howard, because the Pacers have stepped their game up mightily this year. I mean, they came out of nowhere, and they are a legitimate team. Are they a legitimate threat to win a championship? I don't know that just yet, but they are a legitimate team, and they might be one piece away from being a legit threat, but they got game. They got game for sure. So appreciate you calling in, Howard.
Hey, always, y'all have a wonderful night. I know we want to probably talk again, but if we don't, have happy holidays and all that. And I appreciate y'all. I love listening to you guys.
Appreciate you, man. We appreciate you, Howard. And,
appreciate you.
And show is not a show without y'all who listen in and hang out with us. So appreciate that. Stay safe out there. All right, let's talk about Ja Morant. I just went off on a tangent because we're talking about the Lakers and teams they remove from situations, and the Grizzlies and Pacers are both in that category. So, but no, going back to the Grizzlies and Ja Morant, and I forget which one of y'all sent this clip. I think it was you, Danny, who sent the clip of him being on the stand and
the diamonds. Yeah. The lawyer asked him, "Are the diamonds real?" He said, "I'm a millionaire."
Yeah. So, and what do you make of this, Danny? This, of course, that comment. The lawyer asking, "Are those real diamonds that he's wearing?" First of all, why would you ask that?
That's a dumb question.
Stupid question.
Yes, they try to set him up. They try to set him up. Yeah.
And just trying to make him seem like a stereotype. And so. What does it matter if his diamonds are real?
Yeah, no significance.
And his answer was, "I am a millionaire," and her answer was fair enough. But I don't see the point of asking that question. But your thoughts on Ja Morant? He also had a press conference today in which he said, "It's been tough. I had some rough days." And what are your thoughts on Ja Morant getting ready to come back from suspension?
Man, we talking about Iverson talked about practice. We talking about basketball. But I'm gonna say this, man. Being an ex-athlete and played the game, and I know some people down there in Memphis, and this kid is 24 years old. Okay, I'm not gonna say what do we expect or where our expectations are. I don't want to get into his parents' household, education, socioeconomic. People do too much with all that. Okay, what you do is what you do as an individual, right? Regardless of how your parents, your back, all that. This is the decision this young man made. Okay, he has to live with it. Is he better? I don't know. It's yet to be seen. Right? I mean, there's clips of him hanging out there with his friends. I mean, everybody don't dress the same. Everybody don't look the same. We don't know who these guys are. Maybe he has a new circle. And you can't always blame people's circle. You're responsible. We all hung around suspicious characters and we didn't know they was characters, right? Everybody wear a mask. I don't know. I hope he does better, but he's 24, right? So if he does make another mistake, I'm not gonna, hold this young man accountable because I'm not his dad. I'm not the commissioner. I just want to see some good basketball from this young man because I think he's a really good player. But I also want to see him mature off the court because a lot of people follow him on the court and off the court, and I want him to. He keeps writing these checks. Be the man that you say you are. Right? Do what you say you're gonna do. If you're going to do it, do it. If you're going to play. If you're going to hang out, you're going to hang out. You can't serve two masters, right? So hopefully he just gets his life together and does what he's supposed to do because there's a lot of young boys around town that's looking up to him off and on the court, right? And Memphis has some stuff going on out there socioeconomically and in our communities out there. And we don't need nobody else contributing to that, especially a multimillionaire, right? So let's get yourself together, young man, and play some basketball. I'm tired of all the extra stuff.
Yeah, you're going to see some good basketball out of him. That's never the issue. He's a phenomenal.
Yeah, he's really
player.
good. Yeah, he's on like that. He's really good.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, and the point is though. I mean, I know you said he's 24, but so is everyone who comes into the NBA. They are mostly younger than 24, and a lot of times they're younger than 20.
Yeah.
And so they are given a large amount of money at an age that they're probably not ready for it, and they're given a lot of responsibility as well, especially in the case of Ja Morant, where you are made a franchise player very early in your life and career. And for him to go through this situation, the hope for me is that he learned from it and that he knows that you can't just put your business out there, but also that you do got to watch who you hang around. And it is ultimately his decision, Danny, to your point. But he does have to, if you're hanging around the wrong people, it's not going to help you.
No.
And it can be detrimental because they can get you into certain situations. And so I hope he comes back and has a great season and doesn't cost himself any more dozens of millions of dollars like he already did last year by costing himself an All-NBA team appearance. What's up, Andy?
Yeah, he needs to hurry up because Memphis needs it.
Memphis does need it. Memphis is one of the worst teams in the league.
Trash, man. Trash.
Dr. Fletcher, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, I agree. I hope he has used this time to make some substantial, sustainable changes to his life. I don't fully understand why he didn't settle this ongoing case, this assault case, a long time ago, because real talk, if he is ultimately convicted of this, he's right back in the crosshairs of the NBA personal conduct policy as soon as he comes back on Tuesday. So I don't fully understand what guidance he got. This has been lingering on for like a year, this case, between he and his homeboy / paid assistant, whom he was sitting next to in court or the other day, which is probably a sign of you probably need another circle. But I'm interested to see how this particular court case plays out. If the NBA and Adam Silver has factored this into his existing punishment and what he's had to meet in order to come back and play, or if he's watching this as well, and if he's ultimately convicted, he and his homeboy, if he's right back in the NBA personal conduct policy doghouse again, I would hate to see that happen. So I hope he's making sustainable change, but just like the Draymond Green case that we'll talk about in a second, I'm mildly optimistic because there is no sign to say that punishment changes a person. In fact, statistics show opposite.
Yeah. Update from Washington, where the Pacers are playing the Wizards. The Pacers 62, the Wizards 81. The Pacers down by 19 to the 3-20 Washington Wizards. Just wanted to give an update there on the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, Howard.
Wow. The Lakers done broke the Pacers. We done broke them. But hey, maybe they'll have a miracle comeback win against a 3-win team. Maybe they will. When we come forward, we are going to talk about Draymond Green's suspension and his just wild swing he took at Yusuf Nurkic, and this weird thing that he always does, where he just flails,
flop,
and just manages to like kick somebody in the nuts, or like in this case, punch him right in the head. It's clearly not an accident, dude. What are you doing? So we're going to talk about that when we come forward, right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. NBA Hall of Famer and two-time ABA champion George McGinnis, who is black, has died. Before the NBA took in the Indiana Pacers and the other three remaining American Basketball Association teams in 1976, McGinnis helped lead the Pacers to a pair of ABA titles. McGinnis played in 3 NBA All-Star games and 3 ABA All-Star games, making him one of the only 5 players all-time to do so. He played for the Philadelphia 76ers and the Denver Nuggets before retiring as an Indiana Pacer in 1982. SZA, who is black, has no more accomplishments to cross off her bucket list. In a conversation with Zane Lowe for Apple Music, the singer confessed that she doesn't have any more goals for her music career because she's already accomplished them. She went on to say she's done everything she never thought she would, like going platinum, meeting and working with Beyonce, headlining a festival, being nominated for and winning a Grammy, and more. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Drive carefully in Gardena as a Sigler car fire cleanup currently has a carpool and left lane blocked on the 405 North after Vermont Avenue. Caltrans is on the scene, causing stop traffic from Alameda Street. In Torrance, watch for an injury crash on the 405 South off-ramp to Artesia Boulevard, Highway 91 interchange, with a heavy delay coming from the 105. In Griffith Park, 5 South before Colorado Boulevard, an accident's been reported in the center divide with heavy traffic coming from Burbank Boulevard. And in Echo Park on the 101 South before Highway 2, Alvarado Street interchange. Watch for a stall in the center lane, which is currently blocked, causing stop traffic up to 55 minutes from Highland Avenue, Hollywood Bowl interchange.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Chargers owner Dean Spanos wasted no time to ease the misery of his team's fan base. He fired head coach Brandon Staley Friday morning, less than 24 hours after he saw his team give up a franchise record 63 points to the Raiders Thursday night in Vegas. Spanos also fired general manager Tom Telesco. Spanos has seen enough. He wants to get a head start on rebuilding things for next year. Staley was 24-24 and took the Chargers to only one playoff appearance. That playoff game left a lingering bad taste on Staley's legacy. That's when the Chargers blew a 27-point lead in the second half at Jacksonville and lost. Since Staley was hired in 2021, the Chargers lost 11 games by 3 points or less, and this season they have the NFL's worst pass defense, allowing 283 yards per game. Yep, time for a change. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with one of the panelists, the owner of Kids Love. Take a listen.
So Kids Love, KIDSLUV, is a first-to-market zero-sugar, vitamin-enhanced functional beverage for kids.
So the zero sugar is really important because if not, the sugar gets on the teeth, it can cause cavities. So as a mom, I love this vitamins and hydration in one. Tell us what's happening here with Chase Bank today.
So I would say, I think what Chase is trying to do is create a community actually for entrepreneurs, a place where people can go. They have the space to do it. It's a beautiful space, and to be able to have these conversations. There are so many benefits to being a women-owned and certified business, from a standpoint of getting into stores, not paying the slotting fees of what it takes to be in stores. So I think Chase is trying to bring awareness to a lot of the things that people just don't know about, that not only the bank can help, but outside of the bank, their relationships can help create.
That's beautiful. And I know, this is how we build equity in communities of color, is kind of spreading that information and that knowledge. So thank you for being here today and doing your part and letting these women know that it is possible.
For KBLA 1580, I'm Maisha Cairo in the community with Chase.
Meet LA's most affordable health plan. This open enrollment season, LA Care Covered is proud to offer the lowest cost health plans in Los Angeles County, featuring zero cost preventive services to help you achieve your wellness goals. Be part of the region's largest HMO network, featuring UCLA Health, Optum, and allied physicians without breaking the bank. We are here to help. Call us at 855-222-4239 for enrollment assistance. That's 855-222-4239. LA Care Covered. Your wellness, our mission. Feel the warmth of the holiday spirit with Assemblymember Isaac Bryan, Special Needs Network Incorporated, and the Social Justice Learning Institute. We're thrilled to invite you to Christmas in the Park, a joyful, free event packed with love, community, and festive cheer. Join us this Sunday, December 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Lamert Plaza Park. It's a day filled with fun, laughter, and togetherness. Snap a memorable photo with Santa, savor tasty treats, and watch your children's eyes sparkle at our magical toy giveaway. Plus, we're bringing more to the table with food distribution, lively DJ and dancing, creative arts and crafts, and engaging community activities. Don't miss out. For more details, visit xmaspark.eventbrite.com. That's xmaspark.eventbrite.com. Join us at Christmas in the Park and create unforgettable memories with your community this Sunday, December 17th. Let's celebrate the season together.
The present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Chat. It's Dr. Sean Fletcher and Danny Griffin here on KBLA Talk 1580, Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. And we are talking about sports right now. We're talking about the NBA. Ja Morant coming back from his suspension very soon. And Draymond Green going into his. One going out, one coming in. Grand opening, grand closing.
That sounds
bad. But yeah, so Draymond Green has a history. He has a very long history of doing things like this. This was the most egregious one. Probably a close second would be the one he did earlier this year, which was when he choked out Rudy Gobert when there was a team-wide scuffle between the Timberwolves and the Warriors, and Rudy Gobert wasn't really clear what he was doing. He was maybe trying to break it up, but he definitely wasn't doing something that warranted getting choked out. And nevertheless, Draymond Green did come over and just choke him out of nowhere and got suspended 5 games. That was earlier in the season, this season, and also last season in the playoffs when the Warriors were playing the Kings. He stepped on Sabonis' chest as he laid on the ground, and he's got a history of doing this, and this is by far the worst example of him just flailing and hitting somebody. But he's been indefinitely suspended, and apparently he's on board with this suspension. He agrees that he needs to go and get help. And so I want to get your thoughts on this, Danny, because this is not something new for Draymond. But the indefinite suspension is certainly new. Them saying, all right, we need to give you, basically saying they need to give him a timeout because they can't just give him a number of games and say, all right, this will do it. So is this the right thing to do, Danny? Is an indefinite suspension the right thing for the league to do, and will it make a difference?
Yeah, it's the right thing to do in terms of a PR perspective and to actually get this young man where he needs to be.
Yeah, he ain't that young anymore.
Well, he's 33. He's a young guy to me. But like I said, this is a ploy to me. And Joe D's in that position to make that call, and he has a personal relationship with him.
Joe D with the NBA.
Joe Dumars. Sorry for you non-hoopers. But this is the thing. Like I said, there's a PR situation going on too. And, and Steph Curry tweeted this the other day. He can't do what he's been doing. He knows that. We all know that. Man, y'all been doing this day one. And now we want to be proactive, and now we want to, because of this suspension, I mean, he's done things worse than this. But he's kept going. And we talk about our community, we talk about our African-American athletes and all this stuff, but who's developing these guys holistically? And when does that start? Because we're entitling grown men and enabling them continuously doing the same thing, and when they get to a point of no return, now we want to put them on a definite suspension and try to baby it and massage the situation. This brother, I love how he plays, by the way, because I'm from that era, the Oakley, Mahone, all that stuff. So I love all that. But the way he does it and who he does it against let you know there's something else going on. He's going, back in the day, goons went after goons, by the way. He's going after people that won't even touch a flea. I mean, you can see something's going on, right, with this brother. But something's going on, and we got to develop our young people. When it starts, elementary, middle school, when guys get away with murder, and you're patronizing kids because they're the best player, and mommy, daddy, the coach, money, NIL. So we're perpetuating this situation starting in elementary school with these Pop Warner and these basketball, soccer, all this stuff. So we need to start this stuff earlier. We can see the signs of when kids have issues, and Rasheed Wallace said it the other day. This young man was around the Pistons when he played. He was friends with the GM son, and he saw things he probably shouldn't have saw. Whatever, man. He's been around this forever. He wanted to be a goon. He was raised as a goon. People train their kids to be assassins in terms of basketball, hot dogs, and be tough guys, and just like students. So parents, we need to take more responsibility, and coaches on how we're rearing, coaching, and mentoring these kids and what they're actually going to become, and stop living vicariously through these people. Because this young man's been doing this for years, and now we're starting to see, he needs some real help. Get out of here with that, man. He's always needed help. Day one. Michigan State, you saw it. High school, if you look at his clips.
Dr. Fletcher, is Danny onto something here? Is this too little, too late for the NBA and for the Warriors? And is Draymond Green? Do you think there's any chance that he's done in Golden State?
Well, I mean, when you already got Defensive Player of the Year and 4 titles under your belt, I think it's hard for me to cry tears and say it's too late. As Danny mentioned on a number of different angles, I do not believe, and by all accounts, this isn't the end for him. And I live in the Bay Area, and this is the most homer town and media market, if there's ever going to be one. And by all accounts, the media and fans in this area have soured on Draymond. However, all of the reports are coming out that the team is still very, very loyal to him. And I believe that that's going to be the case. They're going to see how this all transpires, how he plays it coming out of this. And ultimately, they're going to allow him to, proverbially dig his own grave. If he comes out and does something else dumb, I believe that Adam Silver is setting it up for it to be a longer suspension if he comes back and does something else, crazy or malicious. But on the personal side of things, just like we talked about with Ja, my hope is that he does take this opportunity because he's not a dumb man at all by any stretch of the imagination. By any stretch of the imagination. And he's even been, I remember last year, he was on Deepak Chopra's podcast, and he touched on kind of how he battles to negotiate the rage that's summoned on the court and turning it off the court, and vice versa. And so he's been very, very sort of introspective about those issues, and he touched on it even a bit after the Jordan Poole situation, that he got some stuff he needs to deal with personally that he brought onto the floor, and it had nothing to do really with Jordan Poole. He just triggered something that was already laying dormant, right? I think we've seen a lot of that, to Danny's point, leading up to now, because even Rasheed Wallace didn't do things to hurt his team like Draymond is doing. Arguably, Draymond cost them 2 other titles, in my opinion. If you go back to 2016, when he got himself ejected, they were about to win that.
He got suspended.
Like, going away.
Suspended for Game 6. Yep.
Suspended. Going away. So Rasheed never did stuff like that. Rasheed was a Game 15 of the season, cursed out the ref, and got ejected. He wasn't a critical, pivotal time of the season getting himself kicked out. And Rasheed even said that. Like, this is different. Even though he grew up seeing some bad examples, this is different. This runs deeper. And also to Danny's point, not just Joe Dumars, his sort of mentor who had a significant part in levying down this indefinite punishment. Andre Iguodala was part of it too. He's the new interim executive director of the Players Association. So they all huddled together and basically got Draymond to go along with this. All right, turn the page on that and come to the business side of it. Draymond Green, I read, if he is suspended 20 games or less, he loses $153,000 a game. If he's suspended 20 games or more, that bumps up to $202,000 per game. You tell me which is going to run out faster. The clock on the NBA Players Association and Draymond saying, no, these checks are adding up, or them actually wanting to get him some personal mental well-being support, that we're not going to put a timetable on that. That's why we didn't give him a definite game suspension. We gave him an indefinite game suspension because we wanted to portray as though we're not going to put a cap on mental wellness and the journey it takes. BS. When it comes down to it, when those checks start adding up, you tell me which is going to lead the way. And it ain't going to be, we want this brother to have a long, healthy mental life. It's going to be, get this brother back on the court, business as usual. It could, because he is playing within a business. This ain't a nonprofit that the NBA running. It's a business.
Danny, what do you make of?
Man, they can miss me with all that.
No, I'm with you, man. Danny, what do you make of this this discussion about Steph Curry now and his leadership, and maybe his leadership is lacking to allow this to have happened for this long and to this level?
I'm not gonna get into that. I mean, he was around the game as a little ball boy and Dill's son. I'm not gonna get into all that. People just want to use him as a scapegoat because he's an exceptional player and he's been the face of the franchise and he's an NBA champion. So I'm not gonna get into that. But too much is given, much is required as well. So
you are gonna get into it.
Well, I mean, it's twofold. It depends on who you are. It's perspectives, man. Everything's perspective. Everybody got an opinion. I'm
asking for yours.
I mean, no, I'm not gonna say that. He ain't responsible for that. Draymond Green, grown man. I've been around the league and I got a lot of friends, so I understand and I know how it go. Steph Curry's he's a nice suburb kid, man. He grew up well off. He don't want no, you ain't gonna be getting up in nobody's business like that, boss. You just play on the team with him. And that's why this
but he's the franchise though.
Man, he is, but what he gonna do?
Carry more weight than anyone else.
But at the same time, this young man has been doing what he's been doing because he's a bully. Let's put that out there. He's a bully and he's been punking everybody and he got everybody in check. He got everybody in pocket. That's straight up. That's why he hit old boy like that.
Go ahead,
Danny, let me ask you this. You don't think Steph Curry could snap his fingers and Draymond be gone?
I do, but then it's retaliation too. Because remember all the NBA.
We don't have to know that.
Well, but we all know that on the low, right? Because most of these guys are intertwined today compared, like back in the day, guys wasn't all up in each other's, you know.
What kind of retaliation are we talking about?
Oh, I'm just telling you, off the court, man, these dudes all hang together. These guys are soft. These guys hang out like closer than close.
So like a fade?
I mean, I'm just telling you, man, it mess up how you move off the court. And these guys like to be around each other and all up on each other. Back in the day, these guys weren't hanging out like that.
Andy, what's up?
That's why Draymond deserves all of this. You know, he is a bully, and I think he got that whole organization shook. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I don't like the most about him is his disposition when he talks about what he's done. I feel like you're insulting my intelligence. You know, his explanation about how, you know, I sell the move and all that other type of stuff.
Yeah,
like I don't like that. Like, bro, just say you did bad and that's it. When you explain yourself for 20 minutes, it just doesn't seem genuine at all.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Mimi calling in from Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to the show, Mimi. What's on your mind?
Hi, Avi. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's up?
I want to say this is a crazy situation. No pun intended, but it's just crazy. The NBA is like, 90% black, and this man, I don't know how you incidentally punch, kick, choke your teammate and other players 2 times, 2 incidents, and nothing happens, basically. And then this 3rd time, they suspend him indefinitely. If he doesn't really, truly, genuinely seek mental help, if he doesn't seek therapy, I would suggest that he and his wife get together, set aside the money, put it all in her name, whatever, legally do what you got to do, because when he comes back, if he goes off again, they'll be protected. She'll be protected. She and the kids will be protected, and he will be on his own. Because in the real world, you cannot hit somebody 3 times and still keep your job. After that first time, you're fired and arrested in the real world. In sports, the stars can do whatever they want to do until the NBA, the NFL gets sick of it, and then they just throw you away. So I would say he needs to get help, seriously get help, and set the money aside for his wife. I'm serious about that, and his kids, because they need to be protected. Because if he does not get help and he does this again, I'm just thinking about his family, his wife, his kids.
Are you saying that he'll do something off the court that would endanger their financial well-being?
I'm saying that if he does this again, and, when he's back, they're just going to drain him financially. Indefinite suspension, you said like $100 million. That's a lot of money.
Well, yeah, he did just sign a 4-year, $100 million extension this offseason, which seems crazy at this stage in his career. But yeah, no, I hear you, Mimi. And Dr. Fletcher in the group chat, in the actual group chat, said it's NBA is 73% black, 73, not 90.
Okay, I see like 2 white guys, so I couldn't tell.
Thanks for the call, Mimi. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
When we come forward, we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith calling Zion Williamson fat. Get your take on that right when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Areva time is the right time. More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Back on the Friday edition, the Friday group chat, the Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard here with you with Dr. Sean Fletcher and Danny Griffin. Let's hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say about Zion Williamson here.
He looks fat. My brother, you've been in the news for some other stuff. Your proclivities and who you want to mess with and all that other stuff is your damn business. We ain't got to get into all of that, but this is necessary. Zion Williamson went to the free throw line the other day en route while LeBron James had dropped 30 in 3 quarters and had completely dominated and looked in peak physical condition and looked like an absolute stud and superstar and marquee. Zion Williamson, who's more than 15 years younger, but 40 pounds heavier, went to the free throw line. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a belly. A belly. Like when he took a deep breath, his belly bounced. That kind of belly. I mean, damn. Damn. What's up, Zion?
All right, Andy.
Yeah,
I want to hear the rest of it, but we're almost out of time.
That's
So,
terrible.
is Stephen A. Smith wrong for that, or Danny, or is that legitimate criticism?
In today's era, with today's audience, that makes this guy one of the best in the game and a multimillionaire. Yes, knowing what I know.
Yes, it's legitimate, or he's wrong for that?
It's legitimate because it fits the entertainment and the buffoonery that we have out there. But it was somebody that's been around and was there in the 70s, 80s, and been around true, respect and how you do your job respectfully and respect the athletes. I'm gonna say no. You're talking about this man, you're body shaming this guy. You're talking bad about this man. I mean, this guy is a great athlete. He's a great player. He's young too. He's going through it. It's tough, man. Like eating, that's an addiction, man. Like, you know how hard it is to stay in shape even though you're a multimillionaire athlete? Like, everybody's not mentally and physically and emotionally prepared to be on their grind every day. He obviously has some issues too, right? We keep picking on people that got issues, and we exploiting them because they have the cachet and the persona. Like, if this guy was in the street, nobody would be saying nothing about him. Like, leave Zion alone.
Well, that's kind of the point, though, is that, like, as you said earlier, to whom much is given, much is required.
That's true, too.
And if you are the face of a franchise, I think you are expected to maintain a certain level of fitness, especially if you're a basketball player, because you're not an offensive lineman. You got to run up and down that court, and you got to be there for your team, especially when you have his injury history. But
that's true.
But let's give the last word to Dr. Fletcher here. What are your thoughts?
The criticism is warranted. the delivery is typically my issue with people like Stephen A., who have leaned into the sensationalism of delivering news and punditry. It's about the sizzle and not the steak. It's about catching headlines, just like he came out against Steve Kerr. It's about trying to, as Danny mentioned, trying to basically get the shock so he can continue viewership and popularity. It's not about the tact. It's not about actually trying to connect with Zion and get some sort of receptivity by him. It's about saying something that comes across as wildly disrespectful in the way that he does it. He's a wildly disrespectful media personality in his delivery, and he does it in an unapologetic way because that's part of his brand. But the criticism, if I could sift through all the BS in delivery, absolutely. That's not a surprise. Yes, he's admitted that he is not in shape. He should be.
All right, so y'all, we got a little bit of time. Just 10 or 15 seconds. Danny, is the Shohei Ohtani deal a good deal or a bad deal?
The who?
Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers, the $700 million man. All right,
deferred money ain't good.
It's not good for him or for the Dodgers?
For the Dodgers, so we can hear Bobby Bonilla today for the next 20 years.
Well, he's no Bobby Bonilla, but anyway, Dr. Fletcher, what are your thoughts on the deal?
I'm not too sure about it yet, quite honestly, because the CPAs out there are saying that he didn't need to defer it for tax purposes and things like that because he can get around. There are ways to get around that without deferring it. He could actually have the money in his pocket and have the tax havens, not leaving it in the Dodgers' pocket. So the jury's still out on if this is a wise move or not. And shout out to the king, Bobby Bonilla, while we brought him up.
Well, the point was he
smart.
He
was real smart.
Shohei didn't do it for himself. He did it for the Dodgers to give them a competitive edge to allow them to sign other players. But hey, fellas, always a great conversation. Dr. Sean Fletcher of San Jose State University.
Likewise.
Danny Griffin, really appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see y'all in the new year.
Holidays.
And coming up next is Robin Ayers with the Raw Report. Have a great weekend. I'm Avi Bernard, and I am gone.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Chicago, Illinois Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is black, is unveiling his public safety plan for Chicago. The mayor says the People's Plan for Community Safety will tackle the problem of crime through outreach and intervention with youth and adults historically impacted by violence. It will also